concede when you know you'll lose, use emotes, challenge your friends, and right-click a card when constructing a deck. How incredibly useful. What a great listicle.
Pro tips. You heard it here first.
Pro tip, click the boards.
Alright, we're actually live. I don't know if I'll do the real intro until the games are actually starting.
Oh good, everyone's hearing my my dumb bullshit right now then.
It looks like it started like just afterward. Maybe that can be known as Edgar's Pro Tips.
Okay, hold on. I'll find it and link it in the chat. Oh, it's not letting me post a web address. Ugh, never mind.
Oh,
guys.
yeah, it's YouTube after all.
Yeah, YouTube will not let me post a link, so just pretend I posted it and laugh to yourself.
Man, that was a funny one.
Thanks, guys. Hey, get the hell out of this channel, Elendl. You're gonna be able to see the other hand.
Alright, there we go. Now I fixed Ventrilos. There's no more key clicks. And hey, Taloff's online. It appears that the holdup is that these two were not friends in advance.
Poor planning.
Yeah. So I think Chef is acting as the middleman here. There, I clicked play. Someone in chat was telling me. Oh, they're preparing the battle. All right. Well, here we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Monday night edition of CSW. Tonight we'll be closing out our Eviscerate round of the tournament, and we will usher in our final member to the new Frothing Four.
It's an exciting night as always here on CSW Monday Night Raw.
Sorry, I watched WrestleMania last night.
How was it?
It was pretty awful.
Yeah, I saw the highlight with NWO and DX coming back, and it just looked like a bunch of 50-year-olds.
Pretty much. Okay, let's get both spectating going on. Okay. So into the match, Elendl does not have really anything to start with.
Greetings, friend.
Yeah, it looks like he's running, apparently by the one card in his hand, it looks like he's running a Malagos Shaman, maybe a little mech. You can see the Arcane Nullifier there. And versus what appears to be Taloff has maybe a pretty straight ramp druid, would be my guess.
Yeah, it does appear that way. I don't see any surprises in his current hand, really. Mark of the Wild arguably fell out of favor, but it's still viable.
Yeah, Mark of the Wild you don't see very much. There have been other cards as the expansions have come along. You know, there's been a lot to supplant it. So it's interesting to see it again. We'll see if it has any impact.
Yeah, it is interesting here to see Elendl starting with his Shaman. It didn't get played very often because he just tended to be very dominant with his Hunter. So, depending on how things go, we might see a couple of wins here on the Shaman, or we might see it get, shifting over to a different class.
And we will see. Again, neither of them have a ton of early game. This Yeti is really the only minion worth playing right now. Otherwise, it's a bunch of spells and reactive stuff.
Yeah, I think had he been playing against the Hunter, Taloff would have been pretty well set. He has both swipes, both wraths. He did have that potential to innervate the Yeti. Coin Yeti. So I think he would have been okay against the Hunter Rush. But against this Spell Power Shaman who could pretty much just burst over his head depending on card draw, that could make this a very different match. It looks like
here,
Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was just going to say, here do you even just swipe just to get the board clear and start doing damage to the face, because you've really got not much else, or do you, it's probably overkill, but I don't know, it's an option. Otherwise, you could Wrath for one just to start drawing more useful cards.
Well, I think you're right in that swipe and then running in the 1/1 if it survives. Sorry, I'm misreading things. Yes, I don't necessarily like swiping in this case. I think potentially using one Wrath is okay.
Yeah, I would have used the last 2 mana to Wrath that spell damage totem just to draw a card. As you can see, he still doesn't have much. He's got the Drake now, but
did my spectator time out again?
The most exciting part of these matches has been Wei's constant disconnections.
Okay, this is a much different board than what I last saw. That's so weird. That hasn't happened until this current week. Okay, I think I see activity again.
It's okay, there's a lot of thinking going on. You're not missing much right now.
Well, I do see it seems like Elendl's plan is basically to put up as many taunts as possible and really just get Malygos well protected, maybe bait out some removal early, and then surprise unload spell damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the hope usually is with a Shaman deck like this is to get an Ancestor's Call pull. Now, right now, you've got an Antique Healbot that you don't want to pull out, and a Nullifier you don't want to pull out, but he doesn't even have the Ancestor's Call right now. So, 2 Antique Healbots in hand now on the Shaman. This game could go on for a while.
That is true. He doesn't have much to offer on this turn. I suppose Frost Shock isn't a terrible idea.
Yeah, having 2 Antique Healbots and you're at full health, not fun.
I don't necessarily like this Arcane Nullifier, because it gets wasted and the Yeti still survives.
Right. He gets it for free.
I mean, it even allows a swipe to the Shaman if he potentially wants to save his HP. Or armor in this case.
I still probably wouldn't. I mean, again, just not enough value.
Oh, you know, actually...
Out of the swipe. Well, 20.
He could have potentially played the Drake and then innervated the swipe. No, that's 1 mana short.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gained you much anyway, though, because you had the other 2 with, still with 1 health only, so you're not getting as much benefit out of it.
Yeah, but the Yeti stays at 4/3.
That is true. But he could have just lightning bolted instead of earth shocked here, so it would have been really no difference.
Yeah, but he's been struggling with overload so far for the past 3 or 4 turns. This really does open him up to really use anything next turn, barring Malygos.
Well, the tough thing, you don't want to use anything but Malygos unless you're holding that past turn 9 for some reason.
Yeah, but I mean,
so
I think that's
turn you'd want to use.
Well, that's the reason that Lightning Bolt becomes more valuable than Earth Shock. So I think using that in this case
Roger. Got it. Yeah, you want to hold on to the Lightning Bolt for when you have Malygos out. That makes sense.
You know, I think this Druid of the Claw might come down and charge. And it does.
Yeah, he sees that there's some sort of delay game going on here on the other side.
Oh, this is a tough spot. You really don't want to use anything.
Yep. 1 Lightning Bolt could clear it, but then you're screwed against using Malygos next turn.
I could even see a Frost Shock here. Or just do nothing and heal it up next turn with the Healbot. I think the main plan is, if he just uses Frost Shock here, he hasn't dealt with this Druid of the Claw, so Malygos isn't protected for a second turn.
Right. And really, the other thing is dropping Malygos on turn 9 just naked with a spell damage totem is not that great. That's your whole turn, and you've got to hope he survives another turn in order for you to to survive.
Well, that said, what do you do this turn? Because I don't really see all that much.
I probably would Lightning Bolt just to clear it. Even though it seems like a waste, you've also got to shut it down. This is also an alternate. Hope he clears it and then use an Earth Shock on the next turn. But you're still holding Malygos for turn 10 at that point.
Yeah, I see. Meanwhile, I think at this point, Taloff really is going to kind of hit his stride. He has the option of playing the Drake and then using the Defender of Argus and just getting a nice taunt wall going on. It does.
Yeah.
Even with the Lightning Storm and the Spell Power Totem, at 5 HP, they still do overall survive.
I like seeing these 2 decks go against each other because they're both very uncommon.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a choice here, although the Overload really, really sucks.
Yeah. It holds off your whole deck for a turn, but it's the price you pay.
Well, really, that move just held him off for 2 turns. But it did give him board clear at a heavy cost.
Yeah, I mean, you clear it, you push off your Malagos, instead of this turn, but you couldn't have played him that turn anyway. You weren't going to play him. So now you can't play him next turn, so you're waiting 2 turns, but that's, it's because he had a board.
So
there was nothing that he could do before it.
What do you hope to draw on this turn, then? Like a Flame Tongue Totem, perhaps?
Yeah, or, again, the Ancestor's Call. You have no other minions in hand, so you're pulling out a Malagos, and then you still have 6 mana to do damage with.
Oh, that's a good call. I honestly now wonder...
But I don't know what else he runs in his deck.
Yeah, I don't know if he even has Ancestor's Call, but that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, speaking of. Oh, now, although he has the lock. He has the 2 locked crystals, so you still have 4 mana, which is all of your spells.
Man, good point. Yeah, this...
So you've got spell damage plus 6.
This potentially just turned way around.
Yeah. Oh, that's strange.
I don't know about that.
He would have been pretty close to winning next turn if he had held out, but not enough, I guess, which is his reasoning for holding out.
And either of the minions in Taloff's hand are generally not things you want just played bare. You want these battle cries and these druid-specific decisions.
Right, but I guess the tough part is, from Elendl's perspective, is he's close but not enough if he plays Malagos. You've got, let's see.
Well, I think the turn he did make,
18.
though, was wasted.
I agree. But you're bringing the other guy down to 9, and then that's, if he clears out Malagos, then you've got nothing.
Or is there another surprise in this deck that we don't know about that he would rather hit with the Ancestor's Call? Deathwing?
Right.
He is digging for something.
Yeah, he is.
Lava Burst.
I'm mystified. Yeah, maybe Lava Burst, that could be it. Throw Thalnos down.
Yeah, I don't know why you hold on to Thalnos there.
Well, he got Lava Burst. Yeah, you should have thrown him down because you
Yeah,
don't
but
want to pull out a minion besides Malagos.
He's tempting fate. He's in potential lethal range here. We do see there is a Savage Roar. There's a swipe. Does he have a silence? No. Let's see. Is there lethal on this turn with 2 Innervates? Mark of the Wild. Defender of Argus, swipe, Savage Roar. I think there's gotta be.
I feel like between those, between all those different, there has to be something.
Let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I mean, he
Yes,
has to. My quick addition.
He has lethal.
He has lethal. Can he do the math quick enough?
Yep. Well, let's see. Nope.
The answer is no. He cannot do the math quick enough.
That's too bad.
And now it probably would have been lethal on Elendl's turn if he. Well, now he's got Clockwork Giant. So, but Ancestor's Call. If he didn't pull a minion right there, it would have been close to lethal if not having it. Don't think it's going to be enough, though. No way you missed the math on this one.
Yeah, both players just playing very, very hesitant. Just waiting. Trying to get that big burst.
That'll do it.
So we get the exact damage kill coming out of the Druid, which honestly had a pretty easy time of that match.
Yeah. Yep. That was, I think that if he had played the Thalnos and then Ancestors called out the Malagos, because he drew the Lava Burst right after Thalnos, but before the Clockwork Giant. So Ancestors call would have definitely pulled out Malagos, and then you have 6 mana to play, whatever spells you've got in hand.
Okay, so we do see the Hunter coming out. And I would call that a pretty favorable opening hand. 2 Mad Scientist, Haunted Shaper, Web Spinner.
Yep, that's a lot of nice coin possibilities on turn 1.
Druid, on the other hand, has a good draw if you're playing against a control matchup. Against the Hunter, I don't imagine he's going to keep more than one of those cards.
Right. And he throws back one of the Mad Scientists.
Yep.
And the Web Spinner.
So I don't know necessarily which secrets Elendl runs. So that could become redundant if there is only, one type of secret in this deck.
True. But you want to make sure, with a deck like Hunter or with a fast mage deck, you don't want to accidentally pull a secret. If you have the Mad Scientist in hand, you hold on to them, if only because it's one less secret you can possibly draw in your hand. You're drawing a secret that's, you're wasting the effect of the Mad Scientist.
I agree. Oh, so he gets a King of Beasts out of the Web Spinner. That could be an interesting wild card.
All right, I have a quick comment to make. The artwork on King of Beasts is so sad. It is very, but this looks like an 8th grader's drawing on his notebook. It's really bad. I apologize to whoever drew that.
Have you ever actually looked? The next thing that comes to mind is Harrison Jones. If you actually look at his eyes, there's just something wrong with him.
A little wonky-eyed, one going off to the side a little bit.
Something. It just does not. I think it's the shape. Nobody actually has eyes that shape.
Well, we do see, with the Sludge Belcher in here and the Savannah Highmane, this is definitely some sort of more mid-range Hunter. It's definitely not face.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the old school Sunshine Hunter.
Yep, good old life coach.
I feel like this is a turn where you... No, he's not going to coin out the Belcher.
Or do you go bow and then coin out the Scientist?
Yeah.
Because then you can at least knock out the... with one of the Haunted Creepers, you knock out the Keeper of the Grove. We're being told in chat that Harrison is on PCP, so it's on purpose that he looks that way.
I guess I don't actually know anybody on PCP.
Well, maybe that's why you think he looks strange.
That was insensitive of me, I guess. So we see, much like last game, the Druid drawing a lot of answers and just pretty much having a field day deciding what he actually wants to do on which turn.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of pressure going on the Hunter board, the Druid can really just sit back and, do whatever he wants, basically.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this is a good use of the Hunter's Mark. Okay, so now we see the Mad Scientist in the weapon. And let the face damage begin.
And now let's see, you're 1 mana short of being able to Drake Innervate Swipe for great effect. So that doesn't do you much good.
Soon. Yeah, and he is in an awkward spot too, where you can't really play the Ancient of Lore unless you want to burn the Innervate as well.
Right, I'd probably just go maybe Golem and Sun Fury just to, take out a couple of these little guys. Set up a swipe a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it, that's probably what I would do as well, knowing that you can always draw 2 cards next turn.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he did step up the pressure. Like, this Azure Drake can't be allowed to stay alive.
Looks like he agrees with you.
Alright, and the secret
is... throws away the bow.
Freezing Trap. So he prefers to give Taloff back a silence.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that. But, yeah, I don't know. And especially to throw away the bow to do it, too.
I feel like that was a bit of an overreaction.
So he has options now. Yeah, I guess that's one option. Does he attack? Does he think it's a freezing trap? If I was playing a deck like this, I probably would not attack because I would expect a freezing trap. That tends to be more common in the mid-range hunters.
Well, let's see now. Coming in next turn with 8 mana, what's the play there? More taunts?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now he's just doing a defensive play, and he's going to... I mean, to me, it looks like he's just going to see what the board looks like next turn.
So I don't like this. It's too defensive, and the trap is still going to be there.
Right.
Like, you have 2 Taunt Givers in hand, so you don't really need the Argus back that badly. Yeah, and instead... I don't think I like this.
No, I think this is basically game at this point. The tough thing is there wasn't much he could do. Even a swipe wasn't all that useful. It didn't clear the board much at all.
Yeah.
If he had held the Drake for the super swipe, then that could have done something.
I mean, he can mostly clear the board this turn with the combination of swipe, innervate, and the Argent.
Yep. Mostly. But is it enough?
Yeah. I mean, realistically, given what we see on board, yes, it's enough to survive 1 more turn. But he would have 2 HP.
Right.
What to do? Time waits for no one.
Well, if he's doing something, he's got to do it soon.
Well, he wouldn't even have 2 HP because if he doesn't clear the 2 hyenas that come from the Savannah High main, then that plus hero power means game over still. Yeah. Not quite quick enough.
Right, now, the way I was counting it out, he'd be able to... there would be 1 hyena left.
So how would you have done that? I'm curious to see.
what was it? He would have to break the freezing trap first, which he did. Charge the Belcher, swipe. Oh yeah, no, then he can't get through the taunt and kill both.
Hunt begin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was counting for the Belcher's death rattle.
Yeah, that's what makes the Belcher such a good card. That Goldshire Footman really sticks it to you.
I think we're going to see the resurgence of the Goldshire Footmen as a result of the Hungry Dragons.
Oh, what a dream.
I can fix anything.
There was a fear for a second in the Twitch stream today. There was a when the Paladin did his well met. Instead, he said, "I will serve," and so everyone thought that they were nerfing the well met, but that was just an error. So everyone can feel safe that well met is not going away.
I know I feel better.
Yeah, I'm glad. So right here, do you kill command the Zap-O-Matic just out of fear?
Yes, because it's a shaman. I would rather use kill command here than unleash the hounds. Although, the way things are going, he may be forced to use both. Unless we see an early freezing trap.
Yeah, it looks like he just has to. That's not great from him, but sometimes he needs
and
to.
the
But he's
Hunter's
taking out
Mark.
both, it looks like.
I mean,
So that's sadly reactive from the Hunter's standpoint.
you know,
He does not want
assuming
to be
that
in
the
that
spider
position.
tank was coming out this turn, I think using the Hunter's Mark there was the right play. But from a blind perspective, that seemed like a very much overreaction.
Yep.
Yeah, not much to say about that play. That was pretty much the only thing he had potential to do.
Right. Yeah. The only other thing would be possibly to put a Cult Master down just to threaten the spider tank, but that's a big waste of 4 mana.
Yeah. Especially what we know, seeing that the Flame Tongue Totem is in hand as well as the Doomhammer. So in the end, that turns into a very good freezing trap.
Yeah, that's tough. Having seen Freezing Trap last turn, I probably would have dropped the Flame Tongue and attacked with the Healing Totem to try to, bait it out with that.
Yep. I guess it's a matter of how much do you value the Flame Tongue. I guess.
Well, but he had nothing that could have threatened the Flame Tongue. The Healing Totem would have gone back, and then you could have just hit the Web Spinner with a Spider Tank, and now you've got a Flame Tongue and a 3/3 Spider Tank, which is not bad. It'd be better if he had the totem on the other side, because the next totem he spawns is going to be on the opposite side of the Flame Tongue. Board positioning, it's tough.
Well, considering on his next turn he's going to have that 6 mana though, so he gets to choose. Alright. That said, he now has plenty of ways to deal with this Cult Master. He does it.
Yeah, the Fire Elemental's a good one.
The biggest tempo swing.
Yep, and then next turn you can drop Dr. Boom, and we're really in for some fun times.
Yeah, the this is tough. I think you do just Lothab here, but he's not going to live.
Here's a fun fact: if he drew Bloodlust next turn, he would win.
Oh.
Not after Lothab. Not after Lothab, but take it back.
Oh man, are we really at that point? I stopped counting Shaman Bloodlust potential.
I was watching someone play a Bloodlust deck the other day, and it really is absurd when you get just a handful of guys out there what Bloodlust can do. So here, I would be likely just to drop the boom and take out Lothab with the Fire Elemental, or you could even bypass that and just go for face. Either way, one's a bit more safe, one puts a bit more pressure on. Or this way is also good.
Yeah.
Flying Tongue is a good answer. And then you can Doomhammer too, which sets you up to drop a Rockbiter on it next turn,
No,
which is really good.
He chose to go with the totem, and it turned out as a taunt totem, which is great in this position.
Yeah, that's what you want right now.
So now, okay, the kill command. No, he should have charged the taunt first.
That's hence the oops. But that's okay, because he's got Doomhammer, Rockbiter, and
Double
that'll be 10
crackle.
damage. Oh yeah, you can do that too. There's a lot of ways to win here.
I think we're gonna see a combo: Doomhammer, Rockbiter, Craggle. But he's trying to think: does he need to hide that he's got this combo?
So there's Little Miss Lethal coming out again.
Oh, no Unleash the Hounds. Yeah, I can only assume he wanted to hide the Doomhammer, and that wasn't just completely missed.
I don't know why you bother hiding it, because you win. You're saying he hides it for the next game?
Yeah.
I guess.
Valir versus Thrall.
I don't worry about that personally. I don't mind too much if someone knows one of the things in my deck, because you won with it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say,
And it doesn't mean you're going to draw it next time. So if they're constantly worried about what if you have it, then that's not so bad.
I do like this I guess combination Shaman, where it's got a formidable early game and a great late game.
Wow. And Taloff traded in what I thought was a pretty good hand for what is an even better hand.
Yeah.
Anything.
He's got...
That's a really great 1, 2, 3.
I mean, arguably, you want the Zap-O-Matic instead of the Spider Tank, but this is a good hand against a rogue.
So it's tough here, because not knowing your opponent's hand, if you knew his hand, you would want to coin out the dagger so that you could Deadly Poison and Southsea Deckhand next turn. But
Yep.
now you're a turn behind. Well, you still can dagger and coin out a poison, so you're not that far behind.
And that's exactly what we see.
Job's done.
But it doesn't matter, because you're still going to see the Spider Tank come down next turn.
Oh, he... no, I miscounted. Unless he wants to sacrifice his deckhand. Yeah.
You could deckhand Blade Flurry here and get yourself back to start.
Right, that's the move that I had in mind.
Looks like he may be debating the same.
So many options.
I mean, he could even, with what we see in Taloff's hand, he could, oh, no, none of mana again. I keep forgetting it's turn 3 and not 4. Because 4 is a much better play for the rogue.
Many options.
Yep. Yeah, because you could Thalnos Blade Flurry too. If you had one more mana. Or you could Blade Flurry Van Cleef. You could do any number of things. Or you could do that for some reason. Maybe, I mean,
I don't
know.
like
Although-
doing that and not killing the Cogmaster.
Right.
But maybe he is thinking about the Thalnos Blade Flurry next turn.
Could be. He's getting a little greedy.
I think this early in the game, it's okay to be greedy. The Power Mace is going to throw a little bit of a wrench into the works.
Now, unfortunately, for Taloff, he's going to throw this down, and then he's going to lose it all.
Yep.
We hunger for vengeance. Job's done.
And he's going to sit there sadly on turn 5. Or not quite so sadly, as he pulls
No.
Paladin Shredder, which is going to be buffed. We have
Yeah.
a 6/5 Paladin Shredder coming out.
That was a quite timely top deck. Sap would be nice. We don't see it, but it would be nice.
Yeah, he would like a sap here. Instead, probably going to see an Azure Drake come down.
There's the potential of the deckhand with the Tinker's Oil. Without a weapon out, that's not a great option, but it would remove the 6/5.
Yeah, that's a little expensive. Oh, Bomb Lobber. Right when he's needed.
Special delivery!
This is coming down to brass tacks. If this can't get taken care of, this board, this is it.
Alright, so there's Backstab SI Fan of Knives.
Yep, that's one way. But that's, I mean, you're still left with a 3/2 on board.
Ha, this guy's toast. Job's done.
Yeah, 3/2 and whatever pops out of the Piloted Shredder.
Yep. And that
Flame Tongue Totem.
that's game.
And here we go.
Does he see it? With Flame Tongue and Crackle, he has lethal. Alright, and there we have it. In match number 4, Taloff takes this set 3-1.
Yeah, there were some good games.
I mean, most of that was on the back of his Shaman, which just really came through with the right draws that he needed, and it's a surprisingly well-rounded deck. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, like you said, it's got a lot of different options, and it happened to pull them all at the times he needed them.
Well, I guess with that, congratulations to Taloff, who advances to the Frothing 4. Elendl, please come back next time.
So now we have the next 2 matches to schedule. We have Norab versus Taloff, and then Edgar, yours truly, versus Darkstorm. It's a numbers versus non-numbers Frothing 4.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this will be some good matches, and yeah, we'll see where we get taken to.
All right. Well, good night, everybody, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.